Yo, what's up? It's Spose. Welcome to the Spose podcast. I have lost 200 Twitter followers since last week, and I am still going strong, and I might lose even more this week. Play my motherfucking theme song! Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Spose podcast. Shout out to Be All, J-Spin, Shanghai, and Ben Thompson, who came through last week for the Youngins edition of the Spose podcast and called me dad and told me about their influences, which included Mac Miller and Nelly. Which no offense to either of them, because they're both great, and I know songs by both of them. Since we got so much to get into, I got two guests with me this week. I'm going to begin by doing the segment, which I do every week to start it off with the help of Siri. I'm going to review an album in 1 minute, so I'll bring in Siri, and we'll get it cracking. Siri, set a timer for 1 minute.
Okay, your timer is set for 1 minute.
Okay. The album I'm reviewing, I'm already down to 53 seconds. I heard some noise and I got distracted. The album I'm reviewing this week is Dirty Computer by Janelle Monáe. Janelle Monáe's Electric Lady, her album which preceded Dirty Computer, is one of my favorite albums of the decade. I love this album. I love Janelle Monáe. I'm a fan. I've been to see her live a couple times and I just can't get enough Janelle Monáe. This album had obviously high expectations to live up to for me because I love the last album a lot. And I gotta say, I wasn't very disappointed. It's a very good album. Maybe for me doesn't click as hard as Electric Lady, but that's obviously only because I've listened to it twice since it came out. But I love the first track with Brian Wilson from the Beach Boys. I love that all the guests, Pharrell and Zoe Kravitz, all blend in perfectly and never outshine Janelle Monáe and just accentuate her dope retro womanhood, pussy power, pussy riot. That's the end of my review. Seriously, go check the album out, though. I don't think I really got into any of the tracks, but it's almost like if you like Prince, you'll probably like the Janelle Monáe album. So check out. I actually really love just like the overture at the beginning, just Dirty Computer. I think she just says Dirty Computer like 30 times, but I just love it. Okay, my guests. I'm just so excited to get into the podcast this week because there's so much to fucking talk about. My first guest is what do they call it? They call it glowing up. Like when you start out at one level and you achieve like maximum status, like way better, like you're a late bloomer. My first guest, when I met him, he was like living with his brother, kind of homelessy, not homeless, but homelessy. He had a house. He was in a house.
I was very much so homeless at that time.
Okay,
yeah.
So and he was like a I don't even know, I always caught a good vibe from him, but now he's an employee. He's now been at Bissell Brothers, the brewery, for years and has really glowed up and started his own, t-shirt brand and all sorts of shit. So welcome to the podcast, Cam Bosch.
My man, thanks for having me.
Stoked to have you. I'm still figuring out mics, so I might have some level issues as I adjust, but welcome to the podcast, Cam Bosch. My next guest is a provocateur. He is a bassist, a guitarist, a singer, a songwriter, and the only person who talks shit to Portland musicians to their face on the internet, Kyle Gervais, KGFREEZE. Welcome to the Spose Podcast.
Hello, thank you for having me.
I'm so stoked.
The truth.
Is that okay to call you all those things?
For sure.
Okay. So Kyle, if you've heard my music, I will refer to him interchangeably as Kyle and KGFREEZE because it's essentially the same thing.
One and the same.
And so Kyle has helped me bring a lot of Spose songs to life. Songs you might not even know he's on. He's obviously on the intro to Why Am I So Happy, the album. He helped me with the song Kanye Go. I want to say you played bass on, helped me with Poof on Good Luck With Your Life, and delivered one of my favorite performances of all time on fucking Humans, the 24-hour album. So
At like 3 in the morning.
At 3 in the morning, and you crushed it. Well, I'll just never, Kyle, I don't know, man. I'm like way better at finding people who are great at things and having them do them than me being great. So I remember Humans, the song, I had the idea that was like, I wanted it to say humans, and then I wanted it to say, you better run for your life, which you don't want to hear me sing, but I knew Kyle would know exactly what I was going for.
You undersell yourself, man.
Well, you crushed it.
Some of those screams, man. It's like you got it.
You heard the new shit. I've been letting myself out a little more. I've been letting it out a little more on the new songs.
You push and it's like, yeah, cool. When you got the cool thing where like when it breaks, it doesn't sound bad.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You gotta let the pipes go.
Okay.
You gotta let them go.
All right. Okay. About to start a band tonight. Yeah, so I'm super stoked to have both of you guys here. Lured you to Sanford. Previous to you guys coming here, I just met a kid in the lobby downstairs and wrote him a check for $420 for scoring 29 million points on the Spose
I
app.
saw that.
It was just like kind of a coincidence that he lived in Sanford.
Wow.
I was like, well, actually, I'm going to do the podcast. Why don't you meet me here? He was like 15 and said he loved video games.
Was he in first before you said that you were going to pay for whoever got first?
That was some other kid, and all these nerds came out of the woodwork scoring all these points, and so
the app popped off for a second.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, full disclosure, like the real trick of doing a contest where I give $420 of my own money in cash to some kid is that it lured like 2,000 other people to just download the app to try
and make
so I get the downloads, and then if you beat the app, you send me an email so I get your email address and your data and shit, and then I sell it to Cambridge Analytica for big money.
My G, that's crazy.
Getting Trump reelected. I'm just kidding. I'm still on the fuck Trump train, but I have so many. It's just been what a whirlwind of a week. I could go into like you guys. Most Spose podcasts are like a historical like interview, but I feel like with you guys, there's just so much to talk about. I want to talk about Kanye. I know. Well, Kyle, when I did the Dissect podcast one where I interviewed Cole Kuchna on the third, nervously interviewed him on the third episode of the Spose podcast. I tried like at 6 p.m. when I found out I was getting the interview. I was like, yo, Kyle, you want to come through? Because we're both Kanye. Actually, I mean, the reason we got together was...
Yeah, it was really like, was it like the Grammys?
I think it
like
was...
the night that he came up the second time with Beck. And I think...
Yes.
Or maybe like he had even come out with like 4 or 5 seconds and only one, and we had like touched base and been like, hey, like, because people were like, well, because fuck this shit, fuck Kanye, this is stupid, this is dumb, it's too much auto tune, and I was like, man, let's get some tunes together because of our undying love of Kanye.
In private, messaged each other because the public Facebook is all, even though we both defend Kanye in public, but everybody on Facebook, because it's like I've said this so many times. I was like, whatever the next Kanye controversy is, I'm on Kanye's side. Like, because literally I still don't think he's been wrong. Like, I still can't, like, I think I always think like in 20 years you're gonna look back on Kanye West and none of the things that pissed people off in the present will even be mentioned as anything except like revolutionary. You know, the George Bush doesn't care about black people. The Beyonce should have got the award. The Beck album shouldn't have won the award. I like Beck more than maybe most people on Earth. Like, I love Beck. Own all the albums up until, I don't know, like 2008, until the album he won the Grammy for. Like, I didn't buy that fucking album. And it's just like, that album was not great. It was not the Beck album that should have won a Grammy of the Year. So Kanye was right yet again. And so you and me, it seemed, were the only people. Cam's been pro Kanye for the most part, but like me and Kyle in the Portland, Maine, like music community are the only people who weren't like, fuck Kanye. And so
when we went to that show, like not too long after, and like posting pics, and people were like, fuck that, dude's an idiot. I'm like, man,
okay, bro.
I can't even engage.
Yeah, like.
And which brings us to today.
Well, and so and so you and me, we privately were like, hey, because we'd never made anything together before. I had expressed, for years that I was a fan of you and I'd always supported your stuff, and I'm a fan. And so like I was stoked to get together with you, and it was our jumping off point. We said in our private Facebook messages was, Kanye, let's get together and use our mutual love for Kanye to see what happens. And we ended up getting a bunch of songs. Some still were never released that are still kind of fire.
Yep.
Damn. He strikes that nerve, though. It's like you're one side or the other. There seems more so recently that there's no common ground with it, you either love it or you hate it type of thing.
I think you're so right. I don't know anybody who's like.
I
don't know.
I might be that person.
You might be. You're like
now because like I understand where he's coming from and like what he's saying, because coming from the Midwest, I had a lot of friends and family vote this man into office that I know personally. So
people you like,
people I like family, loved ones, stuff like that. Because
you're from like Louisville?
Yeah, Southern Indiana.
Okay.
So like 30 minutes up 65 from Louisville, Kentucky. So
real close to St. Louis too, though? Or no, other side of the state?
Other side.
Because you
and
leave St. Louis and you're
south.
in Indiana.
Yep.
But Indiana stretches to the other side of
Indiana
Kentucky.
is kind of narrow but long in shape, but the Ohio River separates Kentucky and Indiana, and I lived on the Ohio River, which like splices the two states. But
which brings us to our new segment, Geography Alert.
alert. No, yeah, I very much think that he's dividing who he has. And he has such a big audience, so yeah
he's polarizing. I mean, he always
it's genius though. So I'm not like, whatever, do your own political thing. That's totally cool, and I think that that's like a big thing that needs to be recognized. Trump sucks,
yeah,
but the man obviously has some type of relationship with them that none of us know about. So
initially last year, Kanye had like that breakdown on stage, which ended the floating tour stage.
That was
show,
in like
which
the West Coast,
so
right?
glad we got to see it before it shut down. But it was in Sacramento.
Okay, yeah.
And he basically, actually, Cole Kuchna, the Dissect podcast, has a great episode about it. It actually touches on everything we're talking about right now, which is about empathy.
Yep.
And and so Kanye in that breakdown, or quote unquote breakdown, which I think it might be accurately, but I don't know his life, so I can't accurately phrase it as anything. But he had said he would have voted for Trump, and instantly all these people were like, "Oh, see, your boy supporting Trump. What do you think now?" And my thought was like, well, Kanye's a millionaire, and I kind of understand why he might support Trump. But my big thought of why Kanye West specifically might support Trump at that time was that he broke the system that had defeated every other political candidate up until that point. It was just the most minor scandal destroyed John Kerry.
Yeah.
And Trump appears to be invincible to them. And so I think that is, which is fucking ridiculous, but I would imagine that Kanye appreciated the breaking of the system.
That there's something more real here than some dude in a suit who you're supposed to vote for.
Maybe. I mean, I think
like
I don't
this dude's kind of like a scumbag and kind of speaks his mind and does this stuff, and he still gets a job done. I don't know what that job is.
I don't know.
But
I don't think he knows what it is either.
But right. It basically like politics is right. You blow your nose wrong, and it's like, oh, he's out. He's out. No one's voting for him.
Well, and it destroyed every other candidate. Trump used that to destroy every candidate in the Republican primaries or whatever. I think, I will say, however, I don't think Kanye's interest in Trump is political.
No.
I really don't think it has much to do with politics for Kanye.
That's why I was like, I think there's a relationship there that's not on the surface. Like, obviously the photo of them like meeting, but like, how did they get to that point? Like, what interactions did they have? Like, are they texting, talking, meeting, like hanging out? Like, what's their relationship? But yeah, he's going to be ridiculed regardless.
Yeah. I mean, I will say, I think this is all like, I mean, the fact that we're talking about it is always what I use as the barometer of whether something worked or not.
Because exactly what he wanted.
It's like when people, it's like this rapper Tekashi 6ix9ine. Like, I don't know if you've seen Tekashi, but everybody, everybody's got opinions about him, or they hate him, or da-da-da-da. I was like, well, here we are talking about him, so he's winning. And so that's like my big thing on Kanye is like all these people can leave or whatever, abandon him. Give it 6 weeks, by the way, they'll all be back. Shout out to Goddamn Chan, who unfollowed me on Twitter for my Kanye support. Oh yeah. Kanye Chan just can't handle the heat. He can't handle the truth. But he'll be back. Give him 3 weeks. But the big thing about
I can see him too.
Yeah, I'm gonna need an apology from every person who abandoned Kanye, and then in 6 weeks is like playing the album with the like, yo, this like it's like, oh my god.
And then the Cudi album right after that.
Oh, and they're all on the dick.
Yep. He's got however many weeks of like
5
production jobs and solo records.
The Pusha album.
Pusha. Did you see that tweet where the guy was just like, Pusha, nobody wants to, or he's like, another album about you talking about slinging cocaine. Of course, I'm gonna listen to it.
Yeah, he's like, this is what
I butchered it.
He goes, if Pusha T thinks we want another album of him talking about selling coke, he's absolutely right.
yeah.
And it should be said that the Clips albums are classics, especially the first 2, but the Pusha T solo albums have been like really impressive, better than I thought. I specifically, my favorite track on any of them is the one Pharrell produced on My Name Is My Name, which is the last track called Snitch with periods between them. Highly recommend it. Check it out. So we could talk about Kanye all podcast, but the Celtics are on in 50 minutes, so I'm going to try to continue cruising through these so that we can watch the Celtics game and maybe even get Kyle to sing a hook for me.
It comes down to what the record sounds like, though. Like, I mean, seriously, like, and that's the thing is, like, I absolutely will hold out hope. Absolutely. Like, every time I'm like, like, even Life of Pablo, like, I wasn't all that down with
me
it.
Neither, which we went to see it at the movie theater, you and me.
And honestly,
Solo.
I think, like, the 9 or 10 jams that we heard there probably could have been the record and been less of a, like, sprawling, like,
who knows what the fuck Pablo is.
You know what I mean? Like, it seemed a little more concise and whatever. But it comes down to, like,
the album.
Because I got to admit, I woke up Saturday morning. I was like, Jen's like, you heard the new Kanye stuff? I'm like, what are you talking about?
Oh, man.
And I turn it on and I'm like, wow, that sample's killer. And it gets to the whoopity scoop.
Yeah, whoopity scoop.
Okay, well, I gotta compare that to. So I'll tell my. Well, here's what I said as soon as we did it. Is as soon as I heard that song, "Lift Yourself," which is a trolling record, which is hilarious because everybody. Well, my first thought was number one, everybody's so serious about this Kanye shit, and so like even me, like so seriously pro Kanye, but Kanye is just having fun.
Oh yeah,
it's like everybody's freaking out, and Kanye is. I haven't seen him not smiling. Yeah. Like he's having fun, and so. When he drops this record, this Lift Yourself, me, J-Spin, and Shanghai are sitting where we're sitting right now, Friday night, and we're all in here. We'd been recording, and I was like, yo, new Kanye. And so we pull it up on here. I turn up on the speakers. We like smoke a bowl. We're like, here we go. And like the song starts, and we're like, okay. I'm like, it's like, lift yourself up off your feet. And I'm like, okay, this is like upbeat, ultralight beam. I was like, this is the perfect move, Kanye. I was like, this is going to be so good. The beat comes in. I'm like, all right. And then whoop diddy scoop. Scoop diddy whoop. And then, but the thing about that is it reminds me of another Kanye thing that I like scoffed at in the moment and have never forgot, which is the bleached asshole line.
What's that in?
It's in Famous off the Pablo album. He's like, if I bleach my asshole. Yep. No, it's the it's not Famous. T-shirt. It's the Father Stretch My Hands. It's the cut, which is a big song, and we saw that in the movie theater. Me and Kyle, when he debuted the album with the fashion show, I bought the $35 ticket with the sweatshirt package, and I drove in the snowstorm to Brunswick to watch it in the theater with all us Kanye fans, like out of the closet. It'd be like it really felt like an oppressed minority.
Shout out Brunswick for doing that.
Yeah, shout out to well, I just couldn't believe there was a location in Maine when he announced. I was like, Maine, okay, driving to Brunswick, I guess. And I literally did not ask another person because I don't care. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I'm going, and Kyle was going too. We went. So we saw each other there and sat with each other. But I remember the premiere of Ultralight Beam, and we were like, "Oh!" So Ultralight Beam happens, and we hear Chance, and we're all looking around like, "Oh my God, it's Chance!" Like Chance and Kanye are fucking with each other now. Yeah. And then Father Stretch My Hands comes on, and we're like, and I think we're all getting the feeling like he did it again. Yeah. Like this is a classic. Yeah. And then the lyrics start, and it's if I bleach my asshole, and she get bleach on my t-shirt, you know, and we're like, oh, no. Yeah. But that's what it reminded me of Whoop Diddy Scoop, is I've never forgot that lyric ever since, even though I think of it like cringingly. I've never forgot Whoop Diddy Scoop, and I have not listened to it since then, which...
The climax to an immediate letdown, that's memorable.
We were dying. Like the looks, that is climax to immediate letdown is memorable.
Because he's building it up too. He's like coming up.
He's like bars. So I was like, wow. He goes bars, and I was like, yo, Kanye's about to drop the hardest verse of all time. And then no. But then Ye versus the People, which I got a favorite from T.I. on Twitter. Shout out to Tip, who is one of my favorite artists of all time. T.I., I noticed that the T.I. part seemed very similar to the T.I. versus T.I.P. album, where he's talking. He has these reoccurring intros to each section where he's talking to himself. He's like, listen, Holmes, get Atlantic on the phone, you know, tell Kevin Lyles I need to holler at him, you know, and it's like T.I.P. freaking out, and then T.I. like coming in, to talk him off the cliff, and that's what it felt like, the Ye versus the People. But Ye versus the People, a lot of people are like, this is the new shit, da-da-da. It's like, no, he literally made this yesterday in response to your Twitter, and he called in T.I. because it's meta. Yeah. It's like, you know, anyways. So, sorry. Everybody who we've lost, I just lost 16 more Twitter followers.
There's no way in hell he's releasing anything off of it until June 1st.
Yeah. Yes. And, well, because I think that's stupid no matter what you are, no matter what artist you are. But
like an originator of that sort of release strategy.
Yeezus was maybe the first album maybe like that. Watch the Throne?
Watch the Throne.
No, I guess we had Otis. Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know, but I think you're right. I don't think you're going to hear anything off the album till the album. And then I can't fathom how many news stories there are out of the album. When people hear it, it's like, oh my God, he's got Stevie Wonder. He's got, I don't know, fucking... How'd he clear the John Lennon sample? Yep. Or like, you know, like who knows what the fuck? But I can't wait. And even like the title, who knows? I mean, he literally named Pablo like the day before it came out, so we'll see.
That album's grown on me a lot. I know we want to get away from Conway, but yeah.
Conway, you call him Conway. My daughter, there's a video of my daughter when she was like 3, around the time Cruel Summer was out, and she's like, I don't like Conway West. And I was like, what? You don't like Kanye? She's like, I don't like Conway. And she's like, I was like, why? He's like, he says bitch. It's a pretty epic old video of Lily. Shout out to Lily. But go ahead, Pablo.
Yeah. Just my friend and boss, Noah, has played the shit out of it. And it's like, the more I listen to it, the more it's just like, the production's amazing, obviously. Every beat, whether the lyrics are good or not, are absolute fire. And like Waves from that album has been like, Noah rips that all the time.
Oh, really? See, I was like, I'm like kind of a Chris Brown hater just because he beat up Rihanna and because he seems like a dick. But so that track, I know like Chance the Rapper had like, the album was delayed because he wanted to do and then it ends up being this Chris Brown song. I kind of hated it. And then I went to the Life of Pablo tour where Waves was one of the highlights. It was like when that song dropped, it was like, it was pandemonium. You know, it was like a couple moments in that show were just pure pandemonium. Stronger, you know, The Good Life, Waves, Blood on the Leaves.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, anyways, there goes another 20 Twitter followers.
It's funny. Like, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Like, my wife knows that I'm diehard, right?
Yeah.
And like, definitely gives me shit about it.
Yeah.
But sometimes, you know, we'll just be hanging, you know, chasing the kid around or whatever, and I just will throw some music on, and like, I've thrown that on multiple times.
Pablo.
And I get what's this?
Yep.
This is weird. You know what I mean? Like not like
pleasantly surprised.
Like she's
almost
into it.
Yeah.
Like it's not as bizarre as, because I mean, Yeezus, she heard a gazillion times, was like, stop.
Yeah.
Like that's just too much.
Which I love, but my wife is not into.
Right. It's just it's a lot, and it's genius. And you know, I think he does have this thing, and it's just fearless. Like, yes, public persona, fearless, but even musically affecting are affecting the music with that public persona of like, I don't care if you like me or not. I don't care if you listen to it or not. But if you do listen to it, you're gonna fucking like it.
Yeah. I mean, it's rewarding. It's rewarding as much as it's like, but like I literally don't. You know how like the big term is like triggered. Like people like there's nothing that triggers me quicker. I was thinking about this today. Nothing that triggers me quicker than people unjustifiably hating on Kanye West. Like if it's like actually like you have a good point, I I'll still be triggered, but like not as hard. But like I just can't handle the like, oh, he's talentless, or like I just can't handle it. I can't keep it. I can't chill when I hear that, to the point where like if you hate on me, I care less. Oh. Like I literally, like, you literally could say the meanest shit ever about me, and that's not going to piss me off as much as you writing off Kanye West artistry or something. It's like I'm just triggered by that. So, hang on, let me get my notes up. Actually, my notes are on my phone this time. It's very 2018 of me.
But yes, very hard for me to dig Chris Brown. I'm sorry. I do understand the love behind that tune, but Chris Brown's a hard one for me. Like, how the hell is he still around?
I'm not. I could, take him or leave him. I don't really follow him or know what he's doing. But
I'm not. I do like.
He's got
R&B.
a good voice, though, right?
He does have a good voice, but it's not so good. Well, the thing with Kanye is they're like, you got rid of you unfriended your relatives who don't like Trump, but you're gonna stick by Kanye. And I'm like, well, my fucking relatives didn't make Dark Twisted Fantasy. My relatives didn't make The College Dropout. Did my aunt make fucking Yeezus? No. And so that's the thing with Chris Brown is like you gotta weigh. To me, it's like Kanye's built up so many he's built up like 200 million points, and to remove 1 million points because you hate Trump,
clout tokens.
To remove 100 clout tokens, he's still at 190 million clout tokens. Whereas, my uncle has like 6 clout tokens. Negative 1 million. He's toast. Like one Trump, that's over. Like, so I'm saying, if you want to support assholes like Trump and have me still like you, make a couple classic albums, invent a floating stage, marry Kim Kardashian. Like, these are impressive traits and feats. The
Yeezys are dope too.
And invent a clothesline, a fashion line. Which brings us to one other thing while we're on Chris Brown, Kanye. We got to talk about R. Kelly. Because R. Kelly, I had to draw the line at, and I really love.
I know,
R. Kelly.
Man, and it's only like I hate to even like admit it, but like it's like a. I don't know. I mean, I know it's there, but like I don't know.
That was the thing. I was like, man, maybe they're just trying to vilify him because he's a celebrity and
sex cult thing and all this, the pets, and I'm like, no. I
thought it was fake. I had to like read further into it, and I was like, "Oh shit, this is a real deal." Like,
I read that one article. I don't know if you guys read the same one.
It makes everything prior so much worse. Like, then you're like, I believe all that shit. Fuck this guy. How have I been listening to him? I gotta wash my hands.
It's so
that's
true.
what it was. And I mean, I loved R. Kelly. Like I've been to see. I went to the Wang Center and like dressed up to go see R. Kelly. One of like 3 white people there, maybe the only white people there. Me and Miranda Pollard, and like it was just
Kyle
like
said I had to wash my hands of him.
Dude, I did. So today there was this thing that was mute R. Kelly, and I actually used the opportunity to defend Kanye also because I was like, I have loved R. Kelly. If you've ever hung out with me in my early 20s, I probably made you listen to me belt out some fucking R. Kelly. Yep. I love R. Kelly. However, I gotta join the mute R. Kelly, man. I can't click play and be giving this guy money, even if I fucking love the songs, because you can't be a child molester and you can't be a fucking. I mean, even Aaliyah, when he married Aaliyah, was like 15 or something. It's like. So I can't fuck with it, and I had to draw the line, which is to say, I had to subtract that many clout tokens to erase, TP3 Reloaded, TP2.com, best sex I ever had, I Believe I Can Fly, the world's greatest, fucking the list go, the Best of Both Worlds album. All of those are erased by molesting children.
Yep.
Right. It doesn't matter how many clout points you have, depending on.
Well,
it's so true though, because all the prior stuff, it amplifies it. Like you're a piece of trash, and you have been, and now you make me feel bad for sticking by your side for all of those things.
Now I look like an asshole.
Yeah, and then it took this for me to believe it.
Fuck
like,
you.
yeah,
Dude,
maybe I'm a piece of shit.
I mean, I think if anything has become readily apparent the past like year on Earth is all dudes, little gross. Even the good dudes.
Yeah.
You know, it's like if you're I think if a dude is like flawless or like not gross, he's trying really hard to not be. Cuz it's like a natural instinct of like, I don't know, dudes to just be the weakest link.
Yeah.
Well, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. It's hard to like, it's as time goes on and people like actually converse about things like this, like it's really hard to like go back and like watch like anything like entertainment wise, TV, movies. Like it's super tough because there's
Kevin Spacey
really
man.
Kevin Spacey was like, I was into all that shit, House of Cards and like American Beauty and like,
if it's not the actors, it's like the storylines and the vibes and just like the like lack of
what's the
female
comedian
anything.
Louis C.K.
Oh,
He came out
Louis
doing some
CK,
creepy shit.
man.
2018's been pretty hard.
Victims of 2018. A lot of bodies strewn about
a lot of
the
tokens
calendar.
dropping.
Less divisive, but somehow still involved in this controversy. Chance the Rapper, but not. I don't even want to talk about the controversy. Today is the 5-year anniversary of Acid Rap, which I don't know about you guys, but I feel like that was like a bit. I listened the fuck out of that album, and I don't think it really changed my music so much, but like definitely changed music. I think
It came out of nowhere.
Probably one of my favorite projects, like in the last, like, I
Same.
don't know, 5 years or whatever.
I'd put it if
yeah,
we're
it's now
going
it's on its fifth year,
top
but-
10 albums of the decade. I would put Acid Rap right up there in the top 5, definitely top 10. I got Janelle Monáe Electric Lady top 5. I got Yeezus was 2013. I don't know when Yeezus came out, but Yeezus is way up there for me. You know, as far as albums of the decade, but
13 sounds right. Because Volunteer came out in 14, and that was like my primary vibe.
Influence of your album.
Yep.
Yeah, go check out KGFREEZE's projects before we forget to self-promote. I always forget to self-promote my own shit on here. Go to sposemusic.com and buy shit so my kids don't die. KGFREEZE you can look up on streaming as one word, all caps, KGFREEZE. And yeah, the album you put out around that era, Volunteer, super dope. That might have been the one that really like kind of
that had like better falsetto and power and status, and that was just like just vibe wise. It was like, let's just get people in a room and let's just go for it. Like,
is that how you did it?
Yeah.
Where'd you do it?
I mean, like, come person.
Oh yeah, where you're.
We did do it at the studio though, and we had like the whole first day we had like 6 or 7 of us over there, just like,
nice,
all set up and. Hey, why don't you go lay something down?
Starting ideas, or you had ideas?
I had done demos for pretty much everything, and or like written some stuff with. But again, it was like a guest vibe because the first record was just me.
Yeah.
And then the second record, I was like, hey, Sean Moran, let's do a song together. Hey, Sarah, let's do a song together.
That's
hey,
great.
Jacob Beddick, let's do a song together. Hey, Meek, play guitar. TJ, you too. Everyone, come along.
Yeah, it came out great. I mean, it was really, to me, I remember maybe my buddy Sticky One, Matt Sampson, Cam Groves. Cam Groves was actually really into better falsetto, and the two of us were bumping it a lot. So we became, you know, because I always love R&B, obviously, as we've established by our R. Kelly catastrophe. But yeah, so what was I going to say? That album really... I loved, but I gotta say, man, your last two, it's like even better for me, you know, and maybe it's just because I know you now better personally, but the most recent one, Initiator, it's fucking awesome.
Just going back to being in a rock band.
Yeah, sounds like it. And you have this song called There's More to Life Than the Fucking Beatles, which is, I said this on Facebook, I was like, it's like if the Foo Fighters were good. Like it was like because it's like when Dave Grohl screams, you know, like I love that, like Foo Fighters. No offense to Foo Fighters, because I do like a few Foo Fighters songs. Specifically, I like the Pretender and like the Color and the Shape album and the first album. But yeah, I love The Initiator, man, and I'd highly recommend fans of the Spose podcast go look up There's More to Life Than the Fucking Beatles, and it's extra bonus entertaining if you know the names of Beatles songs.
Oh yeah, because it's all just Beatles everything.
And it's kind of like a diss record.
It's like it's like a diss
not to the Beatles. It's a diss to
tribute record.
Yeah,
like because there's musical elements of tunes. There's lyrical you know it's basically just being an asshole.
You're so good at it, though.
I try.
You're a likable asshole. And Cam, to self-plug your stuff, you just literally today, I thought it was like an offshoot of Bissell Brothers, but you started with another homie, like a clothing brand, if you just want to plug it real quick.
Yeah, sure. Just permanenthangover.com. Art, clothing, hats, I don't know. Cool.
Sex.
Minimal, maybe. I don't know. We'll see where it goes. But yeah, permanenthangover.com. At Cam Bosch on Instagram.
Got a text from my wife.
She found the boosts.
She's obsessed with. No, she didn't. So today I got these. So today is Monday, right? So I watched the kids all day till my wife gets home at 5, and then I was like, all right, I gotta go do the podcast at 6, and so it's like 5:30, and I'm like, all right, where is she? And she gets home at 5:53. And earlier in the day, some Yeezy boots I had bought 3-4 weeks ago. Whenever I got my like Sony royalties, I bought some Yeezy boots, came in the mail. And so I was excited to show them to her. But as she got and to explain, like, I got my royalties. So I, copped some boots, some Yeezys. They're not the shoes that cost like $700. Right. It was the boots. They cost like $300, which is still a lot for boots. But only 100 more than LL Bean boots. However, I knew I would need like 10 minutes to explain this to her to get her to be cool with it, and I always, I'd be like, well, I paid all these bills and da-da-da-da, and I got some Yeezys in the mail. And so
a reward.
As a reward for my great service and my song selling. And but she got home at 5:50, and I was like, I don't have time to explain the Yeezys to her. I threw them in the closet, and I was like, I'll talk to him about her tomorrow morning. So by the time this podcast come out, hopefully I will have explained them to my wife.
You're able to wear them.
Yeah, be able to wear them and not just keep them. Although today's like the last day I could have worn them because it's about to be like 80 fucking degrees, and there's no way these boots, they're like made for winter. Yeah. So next winter, if you see me, probably be looking fly as hell. So that's the problem. So Chance the Rapper, Acid Rap, highly influential album, one of the top 10 albums of the decade, in my opinion. We got to talk about your brother, Jason Bosch, because that's how I met you.
Yep.
I met you through Jay Bosch, maybe 2012?
Yeah, it was right when I first moved here. Yeah.
And I remember
we came down, and it was a video that never happened. We were at the beach and go-karts.
Oh, it was the 03 Ultima video. Yeah, never happened. I mean, it happened. We filmed it, but like both me and Bosch like felt like it was. We were trying to like have the greatest day ever and film it, and you almost can't fake that. Like you just have to actually be having the best day ever, and someone needs to bring a camera. And so we tried to do that for 03 Ultima, and it's. I mean, maybe someday it'll see the light of day. But that's how I met you.
I just moved to Portland. I made the trek across the Midwest land and got to Portland, and like I literally think that was like 2 days of me arriving. I went with my brother he needed somebody to drive. He didn't have his license at the time.
That's right.
So I was whipping the Escape, and we filled it up with all of his camera equipment, and we drove down to Wells, and we attempted to have the best day ever.
We tried.
I had a great time.
Yeah, we did have a good time. I mean, the video is cool, and we even have like, it's so elaborate. I mean, we were putting like drone GoPros on go-karts and like doing car shots where he's following in front of me. Oh, fuck, that reminds me. Okay, actually, crazy story about the 03 Ultima. I left it at my mom's house like for years because I just didn't want to get rid of it because I was like, I don't know, I made a song about it. Maybe someday I'll be super famous. I can sell it for $1 million. It'll be the greatest flip of all time.
Put it in the middle of your like entryway.
Well, dude, that's like my wife thinks I'm crazy, but I like got like big dreams for that car. I'm like, yeah, exactly. Like you're gonna walk in someday to my like giant estate, and it's just gonna be floating in the air, like hanging for suspended, you know, but spinning, with wings. But anyways, I left it at my mom's house, and my mom's house got sold, and then so the new dude took ownership of it.
Oh no!
And so he has no context that this car is worth anything, and was like, "Hey, I don't know what you want. I had to move the car, so like, if you want to give me like." He like does not care about it. He just wants it gone out of his property. And I just like slacked on it and was like, yeah. And then finally, like he texted me all angrily like 3 days ago and was like, I don't know what you want me to do with this car. I'm just going to smash it.
Crush it.
He's like, it looks like you don't need the money from the checks in the seat. And I was like, I don't know what checks these are, but I think I need them. I was like, so I texted him, I called him, and I was like, hey, man, da, 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 da. And so basically, I'm buying it back off him for $300, which for me is a bargain.
Does it runs?
Well, it needs a new battery. We actually, previous to me leaving it at my mom's, we had got it in, me and my dad had worked on it, got it brand new, everything. Like, so 03 Altima back in my possession probably by the time you hear this Spose podcast. Which I might need to sell to make up for my wife not knowing about the Yeezys. Who knows? It all
man. Washes away.
There's a lot of they're in on all the secrets now. So this past weekend, Infinity War came out, the like culmination movie of all these Marvel franchises, and my whole perspective on this is that I'm pissed that everybody talks about it. It's like, can these people who go see, if you go see a movie the opening weekend, you should not be able to talk about it.
Yep.
Like, who goes to see movies opening weekend? Do you?
If I am able to slip it into my ever-changing and hectic schedule, sure. But if I can't, I am absolutely like... A lot of the time, I'll just spoil it for myself. I'll just be like, what happened?
Oh, no, I would never do that. My wife does that all the time. She'll go on Wikipedia. Instead of watching a movie, she just reads the Wikipedia.
It depends on what it is. Because, like, something like this, where, admittedly, I've seen maybe 6 or 7 of, like, the 18 or whatever.
Same.
Like,
Like, I mean, I'll be honest, I literally have been trying to catch up. I watched half of Doctor Strange the other night. I've seen Iron Man.
Yep.
I've seen one of the Thor movies. I've seen the Winter Soldier. I've seen Black Panther, and I've seen both the Guardians of the Galaxy. And so that's all I've seen.
Pretty much same sort of thing.
Okay.
I'm so far behind. And it's like that thing, once you fall behind.
Do you need to even catch up? Can't you just go see this? And it's probably but you might get extra like, oh, that was the character from...
I do it with shows, though, like Walking Dead, first 3 seasons, 2, 3 seasons, whatever, so into it, and then they're in, like, season 10 or something, and once you get so far behind, like, same with those Marvel movies, it's like, the interest is there, because I think that stuff's really cool, but then, you know, 5 movies have come out, and I'm like, fuck, man.
Because it got to the point, like, it didn't get to the point, but I read my, okay, what happens?
Yeah.
And I was like, okay,
because it all somewhat intertwines, right? Like you'll have side stories that connect, and I like that stuff. So
here's my issue. I own maybe 120 comic books, which were gifted to me by my let's bust that open.
Yeah, crack that.
I'm gonna use my one party trick, which is using a lighter to open bottles.
Kobe.
And Cam provided us with some delicious drink.
So you appreciate the nods to the different storylines throughout different things.
Sure, but my big thing is I own specifically the Infinity Gauntlet, the comic with Thanos sitting on the cover with the glove, the Infinity Gauntlet with all the gems in it, and the cover says like "Come and get me." I dug it out like a couple weeks ago when I saw this movie was coming out. Which, by the way, the other fucking Thor movie came out like 6 weeks ago. So it's like, how are they making all these movies all at once? Anyways, but so I've read that comic. I know what happens in that comic. But one of the biggest pieces of that comic book is the Silver Surfer. The Silver Surfer is like, actually, the Infinity Gauntlet takes place in the Silver Surfer like series. So, is he in the movie? That's like my question. It's like kind of crazy to like rework. Like I understand Spider-Man and Iron Man and all these dudes you made movies about. But it's really like the Silver Surfer versus Thanos was like what it was, I thought, and Galactus and all these motherfuckers. I don't know. I'm I'm really basing this on information my dad told me when I was 4. So who knows? Don't spoil it for me. But
No. It's who owns the rights, which is a big reason why Disney bought 20th Century Fox, because now they have the ability to throw X-Men, Fantastic Four. But, of course, that only happened like last year, so they worked around it, and then who knows if they'll end up getting there. I'm sure
so they have to. That door. Wow. It's kind of awesome, and I do think it's kind of fucking spectacular what they've done with Marvel Comics into movies. I just think, I mean, all those movies are great. I love Guardians of the Galaxy. Deadpool, obviously, I saw too, which I thought was dope. Yep. Doctor Strange, which I just got high and started watching the other night, is fucking cool too. Although I haven't finished it. But is anything touching those Batman movies, man?
Yeah, I mean, this was like the biggest ever.
This one was.
Yeah.
Like, I just mean, like, as far as movies go, like, the actual movie.
Oh, you mean, like, as good as a movie
is? As good, because those, I mean, I love, don't get me wrong, love Black Panther, love Guardians of the Galaxy, and I'm not, and I, to be honest, I've only ever seen, like, 2 bad movies in my life. Like, I'm not one to criticize movies, because if you don't know, I've never fucking made one. So I'm not really in a position to criticize, but I will say Zoolander 2 was awful. But
See, and I went in knowing that you thought it was awful, and I didn't think it was very good.
Yes. And so, but that said, I don't know if I've ever watched a superhero movie as good as, say, what is it, The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises.
Yep.
Those are even with the fucking mass shooting with The Dark Knight Rises, I still was like going into it excited that like this is like a crazy. I thought those movies were.
Which one's
dark.
The Heath Ledger one?
Yeah, that was The Dark Knight.
Dark Knight. That one is
movies are
crazy.
Dark as fuck, but like,
super crazy.
That's what I like about.
I don't think I've ever appropriately seen Dark Knight Rises, because I was so jazzed to see it, right? And then a friend of mine had access to a theater early and was like, "Hey, we're gonna see Batman tonight." I was like, "Sweet,
that's dope."
So I go, I start watching it, I fall asleep.
Oh no,
because we started at like midnight.
Yep.
Yeah, I
fall
hear
asleep. Okay, so then we have tickets already to like opening night.
Go see it.
We end up getting there super late. End up in the front row with the IMAX, so everyone's face is all crooked.
Oh, so you've never really you've tried to see it.
Damn.
It's not
Twice.
for lack of effort. It's not for lack of effort. You know, that's crazy. Anyways, motherfuckers, if you go see a movie first weekend, do not talk about it. Keep it to yourself. Go talk to on your fucking secret message board with fucking Trevor and talk to him. Anyways,
fucking Trevor.
KGFREEZE, what do you got coming up? You obviously dropped an album. You're gonna what's the next move?
I can't really talk about it.
Ooh,
but
damn,
definitely staying busy.
I'm stoked to hear that.
Yep. We got some shows this summer. I'll be playing a bit.
You playing at All Roads?
Yep.
Nice.
Playing over at All Roads, which will be.
I had a blast there last year.
I had a blast at All Roads every single time. Great festival up in Belfast, Maine, and Belfast is fun. To be honest, like my favorite part of playing that festival in Belfast is and shout out to Meg Charette who books it, is like the after party where you just get to hang out with all the musicians who you never get to chill with because you're all too far from home to drive home.
So the year that we did play, I think it was 2 years ago now, I
went to see you. You're out in this little like
in the gym,
crushing.
But my wife was like 5 days away from like having our kid, so I was basically like,
play the show and jet.
I gotta play. I gotta go, and I didn't really get to chill nearly as much as I wanted to. So this time around, it's Chillsville, USA.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm.
Pete brought me up there, and we had a friggin' blast, dude.
That's right.
It was crazy. It like Belfast is great, and I don't want to like kind of like promote it as this, but it seemed like, I don't know, it felt like we were at like camp for the weekend.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Town.
Yeah. Does that make sense? It was just kind of like,
no, that's a totally appropriate description,
and the music was great.
I think Belfast would like that. Well, it's great because it's like great acts. I actually shot the Another Man's Logo video the next morning up there with Jay Brown, which I was stoked to hang out with Jay Brown up there anyways. But yeah, great festival. It's coming up in May, I think.
May 19th.
But I'm going up, and since I'm on a hiatus, she asked me if I'd like host the Songwriters Circle, and I was like, I don't know what the fuck that is, but if you give me a hotel room, sure. And tickets to all the festival, so I'm just gonna go watch for once and just be like a fan and go to the after party and bring my wife up for once and just be able to chill. So that'd be cool.
For sure.
It was great. Your set was crazy last year.
Yeah, that was awesome last year. It was right. It was actually the first show I had played right after we dropped "Good Luck with Your Life" in the app.
We were crushing Bissell in the back of the truck, and just like literally walked in, and you like went on stage. It was great.
Yeah, it was wild. Yeah, it was like I remember it was drinking beers, and then walk in and rap.
Yeah,
and then go drink some more beers.
Yeah.
It was a great time. Yeah, I had a great. I love that. So go check out KGFREEZE up there this year.
Yeah,
maybe me and Cam Bosch will be lurking up there. Who knows at camp. Before we get out of here. The Boston Celtics coming up in Game 1 here in 16 minutes. By the way, it endears me that Jeff Beam is a Celtics fan because you know, like I just feel like most of the I'm actually in a group chat with on Facebook with a bunch of music people like Mark Curto and Tim Tierney and Joe Gallant and like who are a bunch of randoms, but like all the Celtics fans, of the scene, and Chris Rogers.
Oh yeah.
And but Jeff Beam is not in this group, but I was saying he should be because Jeff Beam like is a Celtic is like a diehard basketball fan. And it's like, who knew Jeff Beam? Like I thought you were Neil Young.
Jeff is hardcore like sports,
which is not like what I would have expected from Jeff Beam, who I love and still have not collaborated with, but have like kicked the tires on that idea 700 million times with him.
He's the best.
But the Celtics coming up on Game 1 here in 15 minutes. I actually purchased tickets to Game 5 this morning, which are cheaper than I thought. Because I think Game 5 is like contingent upon,
of course,
someone losing a game.
Yeah.
So that's, I think, why the tickets weren't so expensive yet. Yeah. Although if you wanted like floor seats, they're super expensive.
They'll go up like 500% as soon as
one game. Soon as if the Celtics lose or exactly.
Each wins a game.
Yeah.
So and actually me and Cam Grove split the profits from We Smoked It All 3 every month.
Mm-hmm.
So today the money came in for We Smoked It All 3 for the month, and I was like, "Yo, Cam, here's how much I owe you. Counter offer. Would you like to let me keep the money and come with me to Game 5? And I'm awaiting his response. We'll see. Because I asked my wife, and she was like, I'm not going to Game 5 on a Monday. Like, I got it, And so we'll see what Cam says. Plenty of other Celtics friends who could come. But I figured that way maybe I could convince Cam to even be more of like a Celtics fan. Because I know he's casually into it. He's into betting on it, which I respect.
You're a big better.
I'm big into betting. I actually bet tonight. What did I bet? I bet that Terry Rozier would have a triple-double. Because there's all these random prop bets. He walked in wearing a Drew Bledsoe jersey, so anything's possible.
That was crazy.
But yeah, I mean, the Sixers look great. It's going to be a real tough series. I don't know how we can defend Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, and
Markelle Fultz.
Well, sure, Fultz, but I was thinking like J.J. Redick shooting threes, like fucking Ray Allen off the pick, and then Saric and
those crazy dude
looks
like
the vampire,
dudes, two of them,
Ilyasova.
Yeah, they're crazy.
He literally looks like Dracula. It's like so like tall, like they should probably have the lights off the whole game so he doesn't die on the court, or just leave him on so he dies and we can win. But my thought is Celtics in 7,
Celtics in 6.
Although my real like Homer thought is definitely just Celtics in 4. Fuck you, bitches! Like,
in 5.
Yeah, give me my refund. Give me my refund.
They don't have to travel that far, so everyone's going to be well rested.
Yeah,
I
don't want to. I thought about like, oh, it's so close. I'll just go down to because you could get a flight to Philly for like $60 out of Portland, and I was like, I don't want to go be around a bunch of fucking Meek Mill fans.
You don't want to go see Meek?
No. Damn. Meek's dead to me now that the Celtics are playing the Sixers.
Yeah.
But go Celtics. I'm excited to see what happens with the series, and just so happy to be, regardless of what happens with this series, this season's a W, given that we lost Gordon Hayward and Kyrie, and we still are fucking made it out of the first round against one of the best players in the world. And then number 2, I'm just so happy I get to watch basketball for another 3 weeks and care. Like that's just, it's just my favorite distraction in the world. It's like I can't justify video games or like even watching all of Doctor Strange, but like 3.5 hours for a Celtics game and post game, I got that.
No
like,
problem.
I'm good. So, anything you guys want to touch on before we get out of here? Any thoughts? We got like 12 more minutes if you really feel like talking about anything.
I don't know. I think I said something like fairly positive about Trump earlier, and just talking,
want to rescind
talking
that?
out my butthole. Just forget all of that.
Yeah, fuck Trump. I mean,
Trump.
I'm not. He's an asshole. He's a rapist. I'm not into, and he's a racist, and I'm not into that. And however, I am into Kanye West, and it's gonna take way more than him liking Trump for me to not enjoy motherfucking Graduation when that shit starts. I was about to beatbox the like.
I will be.
Good morning.
I will be sitting, and yes, I can't. It's
June 1st.
It is a decision not to engage.
Yep.
I like.
Yeah.
That has been my stance in this round of Kanye-ness. Am I clicking on every friggin' link that's on the page and reading the articles? Obviously. Am I following each tweet? You darn tootin'.
Yeah.
Am I gonna engage or say anything or get no? I can't. I
Well,
don't
this
have
is the
energy.
smoke screen anyways.
Yeah, of
this
course.
is not even the thing. Yeah. This is like the thing. This is like the trick. You know, it's like everybody gets all caught up in this or the Grammys or this or whatever. It's like, how come nobody ever gets in like the actual Kanye conversation? It's like they're always distracted by like the sideshow or like the whatever. And I get it. I mean, that's just society, but like.
He's a genius.
Yeah, man.
How excited are you guys for Family Feud?
Oh,
yo,
I saw that.
I can't wait, dude. When is it?
I don't know, but it's typically like a summer series. So.
It's going to be obnoxious. I can't wait.
This is like a super hot take that nobody agrees with me on, but the Kardashians are underrated. I just feel like they're Kyle almost choked on his beer and Cam like pulled his mic away from his mouth and goes, hear me out. Society, especially this like toxic eat celebrities alive society we live in right now, has destroyed just about everybody who was famous in 2004 or 5, like Paris Hilton, Jessica Simpson, like you name it. All these people have come and gone. Sharon Osbourne, like you know, like all these, like every one of them has come and gone and been destroyed and been derailed. But here are the Kardashians, just as famous as ever, every single year, impenetrably, like just like a fortress of like fame. And I just can't think that it's easy to do that. Do you disagree? I just don't. I just think it's like impossible to like.
I think
remain famous for that long and remain famous and like pretty attractive.
It's bizarre that a group of people who have a television show I still don't know anything about. Do you know what I mean?
You know she's married to Kanye.
No, but like it's Kanye to a degree. The only Kanye that I get is the music and whatever the fuck he's doing.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, hanging out with Kanye for an hour. I don't even have an inkling of what that would be like. And if it is as insane as I actually think it would be, which is just like random thought, then I'm glad that I do.
He's like, hang on, I did do a song with Michael Jackson. Let me pull it up. You know?
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like, and the Kardashians, like, I understand the appeal because I feel like people are like, hey, that's successful. This is what works. This is what people like. But I also like what
do they do?
I know way more about somebody like Chrissy Teigen and even boring as fuck John Legend.
Yeah.
Than I do the Kardashians. Like on like a
they had like a head of steam though with the whole social media movement. Like they were early on with like the TV show and all of that, and then they've just kept going off of that. Same thing. I don't know what any of them do besides, you know, Kim and Kanye, and then Khloe's with
Tristan
Thompson, and I only know that because I saw
but
that
I know
cheating
all
stuff
this.
exactly. But I just think that they've sustained that following that they've had, even with the bumps, even with like
I don't know how
that
like,
shitty Pepsi commercial where
you have the ability to shift the focus. There's so many.
Yeah,
of them
yeah. That's
Kendall
true.
has a whole controversy, and it's like Kylie's pregnant.
Yeah.
Dude, that's so true. That's so true.
All right. Well, I just feel I think fame at that level is like it's like the bug standing on the bug zapper. It's like the fame at that level. It's like you might as well be standing on the sun. Like the lights are on you. There's no moment where you can't be on, where you're not scrutinized, where 200,000 people aren't saying they hope you fucking die and you're trash and you're fat and you're talentless, you're this. Like that is a million degrees of pressure. And to sustain that for even like 20 minutes is incredible. So 15 years?
Yep.
I just gotta like take my hat off to them because I don't understand it. I don't know how they do it. I don't know how they haven't gone on a mass shooting and murdered all the people who talk shit on their Instagram posts. Like I would not last 20 minutes as Kim Kardashian.
No.
Okay, I just have to. I just feel like the destroy celebrities culture angers me because I don't think the people who want to take down celebrities would last 15 minutes as them.
Yep.
One time, this chick like took a picture of me and like my wife and our kid at Walmart when I was like famous for 3 weeks, and I literally was so mad. I was just furious. So I can't imagine. So when Kanye beat the shit out of the photographer at the airport, I was like, I get that. Like fuck that photographer.
I get upset when my girlfriend's like, "Don't wear that. Like that doesn't look good." And that's like my.
Can you imagine 200,000 people? Being
Yeah, exactly.
Like, look at this bitch.
Yeah.
You know, like.
Yeah, it's tough.
Oh man. Okay. Well, today I was so stoked to have Cam Bosch and KGFREEZE down in Sanford for the podcast. Go check out KGFREEZE on all streaming services or buy it if it's the past.
Buy it.
We
want to make more.
Cam Bosch, Bissell. You can catch him at Bissell Brothers running shit, canning cans forever. Yep. Thank you for the gifts you brought through.
No problem, man.
And then your own brand over at permanenthangover.com.
All
right, it's April 30th. You know what that means. It's gonna be May. And so, which is my favorite meme of all time, by the way.
Great one.
And can I play a KGFREEZE song as we go out here?
Whatever.
I'm going to play the fucking Beatles song. It's my favorite song. Spose Podcast will be back with you next week. Long live Kanye. Fuck Donald Trump. Let's go!
Nah, but sorry, no